For the last decade, UN Watch has been putting out reports on UNRWA. We look at the public social media profiles of individuals that identify as staff members of UNRWA. And what we found has been consistently shocking. There's replete support for terrorism and anti-Semitism pretty much across the board everywhere we look. We've put together a total of, I believe, 13 reports now. Every time we're a headache for UNRWA. Every time we release one of these reports, it causes a lot of backlash for them amongst their donor states, and they try to tarnish us and our reputation. Instead of taking care of the problem, you think an organization that has any kind of oversight would be investigating and looking through their entire organization and firing any individuals that support terrorism. Instead, at one point, they issued a social media guideline, training guide to all of their teachers, which taught them how to make their profiles private. But instead of actually taking care of the problem and removing terror supporters from their staff, they just teach them how to hide the evidence. Everything really escalated since October 7th. Early January, we released a new report on findings around a public Telegram group, which comprised of 3,000 UNRWA teachers in Gaza. On October 7th, the group was replete with support for the terror attacks that had taken place. When we released this, it caused a major problem for UNRWA, as all of our reports do. And UNRWA chief Philippe Lazzarini announced that he would be commissioning a so-called independent review to look into the neutrality of staff at UNRWA. This was to push back against any allegations we had made and to, as he said, reassure donor states. And then just a couple of weeks later, Israel notified UNRWA that it had evidence that 12 of its staff members had participated in the October 7th attack. This caused real shockwaves across the world, especially in UNRWA donor states. One by one, over a dozen UNRWA donor states paused funding for the organization as a result of these revelations. Since then, it's come out that, somewhere around 10% of all UNRWA staff in Gaza are members of Hamas. That number is actually deceiving because only men can be members of Hamas. The real problem with UNRWA is at the core of the organization, which revolves around the right of return that they believe Palestinian refugees have. This goes back to the founding of the organization and why there's one refugee organization for Palestinians and one UN refugee organization for the rest of the world, and the problems that creates fueling the conflict today.